What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is a special presentation. This is the Comic-Con Preview Geek Out Special, where we are previewing Preview Day of Comic-Con and everything that's come out of it, but with the specific emphasis on Godzilla and Kong, because good Lord Almighty, we have gotten some things that have dropped already for Godzilla and Kong, and possibly the Justice League, and possibly a video game, and some possible brand new Ultimate Super 7 Godzilla figures, and it's just a fucking crazy thing, and a brand new Spider-Man 2 trailer for the PS5, you piece of shit, should have been on the PS4. We're cursing already, because you already know that's the type of podcast we're gonna be going on today. That being said, let me introduce you to the co-hosts. Gam Z1, how the hell you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm gonna be the fairly positive one here today. I can feel it.
That's definitely a change of pace. G73, aka Megzy, aka my brother Chase. How the hell are you?
Oh man, it's a good day today. Some good stuff. Got some good sleep. I think I'm gonna be an in-between of positive and negative, especially when we come and talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, hold his hand and you're a friend. JR, I know you've got things to say. What the hell's going on?
I'm coming in like an insurrection.
Oh.
I'm gonna shit all over everything.
Oh my god. So I guess let's start it off with, I mean, I don't want to start with the fun stuff. I want to start with, let's save the Godzilla stuff as we move along. We'll get to the Godzilla stuff in a little bit. But let's start off with what Comic-Con is usually about. Comic books, right? It's a comic book convention. That's the fucking name, Comic-Con, right?
Yeah.
But over the last 10 plus years, 15 plus, right? About 12 to 13 years now, Comic-Con has been hijacked by superhero movies, which is not a bad thing because they come from the comic books. Yes. But lately, especially because of COVID, that's all been wiped under the rug. That's been all thrown under the table. There hasn't been anything like that. But we still get comic book things, and apparently we got one today in the form of PS5's, Sony's, let me rephrase that, Sony's Spider-Man 2. A new trailer drop, a PS5 Spider-Man 2 exclusive console drop, which is the one I'm gonna wind up purchasing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure some of us have certain things to say. I'm not going with JR just yet. I don't even know if he's seen that trailer. I'm sure he has. But I'm going to start with the most positive person here. So that's you, Gams. Did you see the Spider-Man trailer? And if so, what did you think?
I saw not the trailer itself. I saw a bunch of screenshots from the trailer, just because I don't really want to spoil myself for this video game too much. I saw Venom's full design. I saw the Lizard. I saw Mary Jane and stuff. And, you know, the PS4 game had its own sense of design, and because I guess Disney wants to unify the Marvel brand, they want now the Spider-Man characters to look a certain different way. And, well, Venom looks cool. Venom looks really cool. Like, I fuck with this Venom design. Like, I think it's right up there with Mark Bagley's Venom.
Wow.
In my opinion.
Absolutely. Wow. Nice. Nice deep cut there.
Yeah. And I really like the Lizard design as well. I mean, anything was better than the Lizard design from the Amazing Spider-Man movie, but you know.
Oh, come on. That wasn't that bad. He was a reptilian. Come on. They're out there.
The face was too flat. If he's going to be the Lizard, he needs to have a lizard snout.
Touche.
But yeah, from what I've seen, I like it. I don't have a PS5. I can't play the game, but for those who do, good for you. I hope you enjoy it.
Brother Chase, you have a PS5. I know you've played the first Spider-Man. I know you've played Miles Morales, and I know you've got things to say about this trailer. So please, let us have it.
I have a PS5?
Do you? I thought you did.
No, I do. I'm just making sure everybody can hear me.
You psycho.
I left the chat and went and looked at some, but I forgot this isn't Discord, this is Messenger, so that problem shouldn't have happened. Yes, I have a PS5. Look, for the most part, I enjoyed this Spider-Man 2 trailer, which is basically just them showing that it's now Spider-Man Saved by the Bell. It just needed Mario Lopez, and he not there. The Tony Todd Venom was the best part. Dude, Tony Todd's Venom has me hyped. I'm stoked for Venom. The problem is I am very, very, very upset with them changing the Peter Parker model. I don't like the idea of them thinking that we're going to change our most looking Tom Holland character for a character we think that looks like Tom Holland, which actually looks like Andrew Garfield. No, I don't like that. To me, I loved that first Spider-Man game so much, and it's not that I'm not going to play Spider-Man 2, but I really, really, really hate the way this Peter Parker looks. He looks terrible. He doesn't look engaging to me. There's no emotional connection behind him that other Peter Parker had on me, and whenever I see him on the trailer, I just like, you know what? I don't care about you. So to me, it's really hard to get into the hype of this game because of I can't get behind that Peter Parker. And it sucks because I want to, but I just can't. And that trailer is just, I see his face and it's like, I just want to punch you in the face. And it's like, Insomniac, I don't know why you thought this was the best change, because it's not. And they also changed Mary Jane too, which is like, why? She didn't need to be changed. And she doesn't, it's not like a Zendaya thing. She's not black or anything. So it's not like that should be the reason. That Mary Jane in the PS4 game was totally fine. Unless they thought it looked too much like Kirsten Dunst. But even then, that's like, didn't make any sense either. So I don't understand what's the point and what they're behind on all of this, but I don't know, man. That Spider-Man 2 game, I mean, I'm going to play it, and I'm happy I got a PS5, but I'm not going to probably play it on launch. I'm going to probably wait for a sale.
Before
I will interject before this wraps up, just to get some thoughts that just popped in my head while Chase was talking.
Yep.
I am really hyped that Venom is going to be voiced by Candyman himself. That's fucking dope.
Candyman.
But I'm also not hyped about the fact that Venom is confirmed not to be Eddie Brock. And it's most likely going to be Harry Osborn. And I don't like that. That reminds me too much of that stupid Ultimate Spider-Man show that starred Drake Bell. No, please.
Listen, the comic book was way better than the cartoon. I will say that. And Mark Bagley was also drawing that comic book for pretty much its entire run up until they killed off Peter Parker.
I love that. I love that comic book as well. I love Mark Bagley's Ultimate Spider-Man run. They ruined his art by replicating it into that cringy show.
Yeah, I didn't give that show one peep. I can't lie. I will say, as far as the trailer goes, you say Candyman, I say Ben from the Night of the Living Dead remake, which is one of the best remakes ever made. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. Halloween staple, smack. Also, I will say, I didn't know that was Mary Jane. I swear to God, I thought that was a brand new character. But I gotta watch the trailer again. No, because there's a sequence when Peter introduces Harry to everybody. I could have sworn there were two girls there. One of them was Mary Jane, and then another one was the one they show later on in the trailer. But I could be wrong. I only watched it one time. In that scene, I will say this. The faces, yeah, I know you're mad at like the changing of the models. To me, whenever they showed the actual humans, except for like Craven and his crew, they looked flat. Miles didn't. Miles, for whatever reason, did not look
very lifeless.
Yeah, it didn't register. But as soon as you seen Spider-Man and Miles and both Spider-Man swinging around, I was like, oh my God, look at this shit. I'm in heaven. This is beautiful.
Totally. I don't mind Peter Parker when his face is covered.
Yeah, so like that, like Insomniac be nailing that shit. They nail it. They nailed it. They nailed it with the first Spider-Man game. They nailed it with Miles Morales Spider-Man. They nail it. Venom looked fantastic. I did not even think about the Mark Bagley thing, but oh my God, Gam, you nailed it. That's a total Mark Bagley look. Being voiced by Tony Todd is an absolute plus. Yeah, I mean, I did not buy a PS5. And I wasn't going to buy a PS5. I wasn't going to buy it for God of War Ragnarok. It was coming out on PS4. I wasn't buying it for nothing. I was waiting. Maybe for a PS5 Pro, maybe. But because Spider-Man is a PS5 exclusive, I have to buy it. And I have to buy that specific system. I have to get my hands on it. Because these fucktards here that I call my co-hosts, some of my favorite people in the fucking world, they got me into collecting again. I'm buying toys out the fucking wazoo, collectibles out the fucking wazoo, and now I'm like, well, since I've got that Halo Infinite fucking Xbox Series X, I might as well get that Spider-Man 2 PS5. That being said, JR, do you have anything particular to say about this?
Well, I just watched the trailer. I'm confused on why they've changed the character model for a second time, because I prefer the PS4 version before any update. Base PS4 version of Peter Parker. I thought that looked great. Then they changed him to look like Tom Holland in the PS5 one, and I'm like, that's stupid. And now I don't even know what the fuck this is supposed to be. I looked at him, I'm like, I don't like that. Like, who the fuck? Stop trying to make him look like somebody. Just have a fucking definitive Peter Parker for your Spider-Man games. And you had him in the base PS4 version. He looked great. He did kind of look like Andrew Garfield, but, I mean, let's be completely honest. We could have just been like, yeah, it's Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and this is his third film, but in game form. But I'm fine with that. Come on. What are we doing? Sony.
That's what the movie would have been.
Yeah. That was our Sinister Six in the Amazing Spider-Man verse. And then you change him to look like Tom Holland. It's like, why? And mind you, Miles Morales' character model is the exact same. They don't change Miles Morales, but they'll change fucking Peter. They'll change fucking Mary Jane. They'll probably change the Black Cat. They'll change fucking everything because it's Sony. This is the biggest problem with Sony with Spider-Man. They can't leave shit alone. Just leave well enough alone. Stop. And now
I don't even think this is a Sony thing. This might be from higher up with the brand, with like Marvel and Disney.
You think so?
But Sony owns 100% rights to Spider-Man. They leased it to Disney.
Exactly.
It's leased.
That is true.
Spider-Man does not belong to Disney. It is a Sony property.
And Sony's not giving it up.
It was only a Sony property for movies and video games. When it comes to his original comic book self, that's still under the Marvel umbrella, which is Disney.
Yeah, the comic book, yes. The entertainment rights, like the movies, the games, and I think the cartoons, but then that might be skewed too, because Spectacular Spider-Man came out, and then when the movies started coming out, Spectacular Spider-Man went away, and Ultimate Spider-Man came out.
Yeah, and then Ultimate Spider-Man came out on Disney XD.
So I think Disney owns the cartoon rights.
Yeah, but when it comes to, live action or video game, that's Sony. It's never been Disney, and that's what I mean. Sony can't leave well enough alone. They did it with Raimi. They did it with fucking guy that directed the Amazing Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield ones.
Is it Mark Webb?
Mark Webb, James Webb.
And here we are with these really popular Spider-Man games, and they just can't seem to fucking not. And it's like, I don't get it. And the character models, you pointed it out, they look fucking terrible. I'm like, dude, if you're going out to buy a PS5 after watching that trailer, I'm sorry. Don't bother.
I have to, mister.
I know, but come on. Like, that's the best they're going to give. I mean, when does it come out? October?
That's what scares me. Because it comes out this October, and it looks that was an unfinished trailer. Yeah. And that's what scares me the most. And so it's like, do I buy it because of the PlayStation look, that exclusive look? I don't want a plain old white PlayStation. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I like the shit. I've said this a million
you
times.
don't want to shell out $60 to change the plates either.
Yeah, it's bad enough you got to spend, what, $600 for this damn behemoth. So, oh, God, yeah.
It's just a damn shame. I mean,
I just wanted to bring real quick. That's actually a good point because I'm excited for Spider-Man, and I mean, I'm not going to get it at launch. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It depends how I feel, but I will be very upset if it turns out that it's following the same path of all these other games, like Star Wars, where they're like AAA games that are unfinished. Like, because the games that were made in COVID are getting hit the most, and Spider-Man was in development during COVID, so that's the thing that I'm worried about as well. I don't know, man. I'd wait for the reviews, but I don't know, man.
I'll tell you right off the bat, the reviews are going to be pretty high because you can't fuck up story, right? Graphics are one thing, bugs are another. But the story is always going to be good. The story for the first game was great. The story for Miles Morales was great. Bugs are going to get it.
Right. It's a Sony exclusive game. It's going to get 10 out of 10s across the board. Sony buys the critics.
Oh my God, that gaming award, Sony sweeps.
Sony swept.
Look, and I've got another big point. So the Activision Microsoft thing that went through. Microsoft officially owns Activision.
That was big news this week. You're right.
Sony fucking this game up gets them. They're out of the fucking race. Like this is Sony's last ditch effort to be like, fuck, we really got to get something going because Microsoft literally owns almost everything now. They do. We're talking about.
No, they don't. No.
They don't own Ubisoft and EA.
They also don't own Sega.
Look, owning
But that's
Activision.
Nintendo doesn't own Sega either. Sega's still their own third-party company.
Oh, but that's my thing is Microsoft's buying up all this shit. And Sony dropped the motherfucking ball because they were too busy bitching about Microsoft buying it instead of negotiating, okay, well, if it's going to go through, we want X amount of games come to our platform. It's less game.
Understand.
It's less game.
Sony bought up way more companies last year than Microsoft did.
But they were very indie companies. They were not.
Yeah, they were very small.
I mean,
It's like a
firstly,
big purchase.
this is Activision fucking Blizzard. Diablo 4, as shit as Diablo 4 is, and I'm telling you, it's fucking straight garbage. I stopped playing it, and I bought the $100 edition.
But
That is Microsoft's.
Sony has bought a lot of companies that are starting to get very popular, though.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
But that still, listen, it still doesn't matter because they're still going to be producing them under like an indie banner.
Microsoft owns the big boys now. They own Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They own World of Warcraft. They own the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
They own Fallout.
And here's the thing. Here's another thing.
But look at how well those games have done in the past 5 years.
It doesn't matter. It's a cash grab. It doesn't matter how
It is a cash grab, but at the end of the day, if those games fail,
it doesn't matter because they still selling.
like Call of Duty's not going to be successful anymore in
No.
the next 10 years.
But you got to remember, yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Okay.
Yes, it will.
I doubt it.
Because you got to remember.
Duty,
You got to
man.
remember. We think that way because we're getting older, but the next generation is eating that shit up, and it's going to continue to sell. So I get it because
I don't know.
No, listen, because there's shit you like that I absolutely hate, and I got to realize I'm a lot older than you. It's the generation gaps. Call of Duty's gonna sell regardless. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and
I wouldn't say Microsoft is like the gaming giant now. That's not I wouldn't say that.
No, I'm not. I don't think we're saying that though.
Sony has the upper hand on that way more over
No.
Microsoft.
Nobody is saying that though. Nobody said that. What we're saying though is Microsoft has most of the cards. They got pretty much all the cards. And here's the deal.
Yeah,
I knew
they have most of the cards. They haven't played any of them.
They
yet.
haven't played any of them. And I knew it. I'll never forget it because I was like, what the fuck is this?
The first card that's going to be played is Starfield, and if Starfield flops, then we got something to sweat about.
They're saying that Starfield's actually going to probably flop.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem between Microsoft and Sony, and this is where I think Microsoft actually has a leg up on them. Last year, I got up one day, I put on the Xbox like I normally do, I go to Game Pass like I normally do, and holy shit, MLB The Show is on my Xbox as a fucking Game Pass exclusive. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, MLB The Show? What the fuck? Major League Baseball The Show? That's a Sony exclusive. Why is it on my Xbox? That can't be right. Hit install. The shit installed. I said, wait a minute, what? I'll press play. There's some fucking music on that's from today's, people love, the kids love it. I'm like, what the fuck? I get to the menu. I pick a team. I start playing. I don't watch baseball anymore. I don't know what's good or not. So I picked the fucking Yankees, right? Because I'm a New Yorker. I picked the fucking, I should have picked the Mets. But I picked the fucking Yankees. Next thing you know, I am playing Major League Baseball, The Show, on my Xbox. And I said to myself, Sony's had this fucking thing exclusive for the past 15, 20 years. It's crazy. It's great. That was the first legitimate baseball simulation game that Microsoft had. Everything else was a fucking arcade style. NBA 2K, NBA fucking Live, Madden football, Madden NFL 2K. That was shit. But Major League Baseball, that was a Sony thing. As soon as that shit opened up on my fucking Xbox, I said, Sony's in trouble. What the fuck's going on? So, and I'm not saying that they're going to sink or go under or do what Sega did. I don't believe that for a heartbeat. Sony, I still believe, is going to thrive. I honestly believe that. Regardless on whatever the bugs are, Spider-Man's going to be a system seller. Heck, you're looking at one right here.
Right.
Spider-Man's going to be a system seller, and that's the thing. The problem, and this is what I was saying in the chat earlier today, my beef is Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard now. Microsoft owns Call of Duty. They own Diablo. They own this IP. And they said, we're not going to let you, we're not going to steal it from you, Sony. You get to play it. We're not going to be stingy with Call of Duty. Y'all still going to get Call of Duty. Right? I would have been the opposite. I would have been like, listen, Sony, you want Call of Duty back? Here's the deal. Make a fucking game like you used to. Give us some goddamn competition. What the fuck is going on? Stop playing yourselves. Give me Killzone. Give me Resistance. Let's go.
Just for instance, they put the fucking Call of Duty Cold War free on PlayStation, and I tried it for 5 minutes the other night and uninstalled. That game was terrible. Call of Duty games are just crap now. But yet again, nobody's playing Call of Duties for their campaigns. It's all the multiplayer now. And so I'm alone in that because I don't play multiplayer.
And but they also now own Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, which that's fucking. They used to be Sony exclusive, then they became third party, then Activision bought them, now Microsoft bought Activision and thus now owns Crash. What is going on?
Dude, I grew up playing Spyro on the PlayStation 1, and that's now going to only be on that fucking Xbox, and I still have it for the original PlayStation 1. It's weird.
Could you imagine?
Yet they still haven't put the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy or the Spyro Reignited Trilogy on Game Pass. Microsoft, what are you doing?
Could you imagine we wake up in about 2 weeks, right? Because next week we're getting the Twisted Metal show on Peacock. But could you imagine in 2 weeks after we get the Twisted Metal show, Microsoft is like, hey, guess what you can play now on Game Pass? Twisted Metal. Sony, what the fuck are we doing here? And that's what the scary thing is.
It makes me wonder what Sony's going to do next. Like, we'll wake up one day and then be like, oh, yeah, Red Dead Redemption 3 is coming out, but it's a PS5 exclusive. Or Red Dead Remastered is an exclusive, and then they bought, and you hear that Sony bought Rockstar.
And that's a strong possibility.
And at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say is, like, Sony's making all these changes for this game at a time where they shouldn't be making fucking changes to the game. Because people are sweating. They're sweating. They're like, Sony, yeah, you've got Call of Duty. You ain't got much else. You've got your fucking first-party IPs.
I'm thinking what happened was there was an NDA disclosure, but they're just saying it for an excuse that they wanted it to look like a different character. And between the actual actor, which is Yori or Lori something, I can't remember his name.
Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah, I think there was a issue with the contract. They couldn't come to negotiation, and they had to change it. And they're just saying something on the side as an excuse because stuff like that happens all the time. And I'm just wondering if that is because it's a very moronic change. It's not a smart change. It's not a logical change. It's moronic. And I'm just wondering, like, who thought of that? It doesn't make sense.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I 100% agree with that thought. There was no reason ever to change the character model. I thought it fit perfectly, like JR said, in that universe. It's not the Spider-Man we're used to. Just look at his costume. It's not the same Spider-Man. It's a different thing, and there's a billion different Spider-Mans, and we see that in the Spider-Verse movies. We know that because of the multiverse. We know it because of the comic books. We know it. So, yeah, no, that makes, to me, that makes the most sense in the world, because I'm still scratching my head as to why Sony would change. There's no reason.
Right.
The kid
was
Peter
like
Parker.
Changing Kratos to look like Jason Momoa.
They did change Kratos for the PS4 game from how he looked in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But not to look like a specific character, though.
Yeah, well, he lost his edge, if you ask me. But I digress.
He got fat and slow.
Yeah. Get on your game, Kratos. What the hell's wrong with you? Goddamn God of War.
Older and more powerful.
He did not.
moving away from the Marvels and looking towards the other side of the pond with DC.
Oh, look at you. You was jumping right in. I was going to lead into video games first. I was going to keep the video games going, but I had a whole segue.
I think we should do that. I think we should talk about Kong first and then go into the...
You can't spoil it!
The Godzilla stuff. The Godzilla stuff can
He doesn't know. He's an information getter. He can't stop this. The mouth just goes. The brain goes, and it goes down and right out the mouth.
I just speak shit that's in my head.
So, yes, no, the segue was video game to video game. Ta-da! Holy crap. This morning, apparently there was a leak for a brand new Kong game. Of all fucking IPs, Kong. I'm not mad at that. When was the last time we got a Kong game? What, 2005? 2005, right? I'm not counting.
King Kong the video game. I got it for the original Xbox.
Not counting the Call of Duty Godzilla vs. Kong tie-in. We're talking about straight up King Kong.
One of the greatest
Peter Jackson's King Kong 2005. I had it on the 360.
Highly underrated game.
I had it on the 360. Yes, I did too. You're right.
I had it on the 360 as well.
Great game.
I'm about the original Xbox. I still have it. The fucking people on 360s back then.
So now we're getting a brand new IP, which is what? Kong Skull Island, or Skull Island the Birth of Kong?
It's called Skull Island: The Rise of Kong, and it's actually based on the Kong of Skull Island comic books, I do believe.
Yes.
That actually where Kong has like this fucking ancient rival named Gaw, G-A-W, and he's like this fucking badass red spiky T-Rex looking fucking thing.
So,
and apparently the goal in the game is to defeat Gaw, and you start out as a baby little monkey Kong, and you grow up, and it kind of almost seems like the game Maneater.
Right.
But you're Kong instead of a shark.
okay, so I was blown away earlier this morning because when Brother Chase sent these images to us, I had just gotten to work, and I'm looking at the IGN thumbnail. I was like, oh my God, is that 62 Kong? Is that Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla Kong? Because that's what it really looks like to me. But then Brother Chase was like, no, man, that's just like probably an evolution. He's probably young. And I was like, yeah, but, it still looks like King Kong versus Godzilla Kong. That looks like Toho Kong.
But like, they might actually have Toho Kong.
And that's what I want.
Because the game is confirmed to have skins
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The Colossal Edition is supposed to have like 7 skins.
Okay, so let's talk about this trailer real quick, and I'm gonna start with you, Brother Chase, because you broke this, at least to me. I mean, I don't know if everybody else seen it, but I know you. I seen it first from you, and then I started going crazy. Your take on this?
Dude, it looks like fun. It looks like a fun game. It reminds me of Hulk Ultimate Destruction. I love that game. That was one of my favorite video games on the original Xbox, and I think I played it on my 360 actually. But I love that game a lot. That was a lot of fun, and that's what it reminds me of. I wasn't happy with Giga Bash, and Dawn of the Monsters was fucking awesome. I haven't finished that though. I'm almost at the end of that. But I like the idea of a kaiju action-adventure game. We don't get that often. It's a unique gem. It's definitely up my alley. Yeah, the gameplay looks kind of a little bit outdated, and the graphics are a little bit not as a AAA would be, but as a fun action-adventure game that's different, and we're stemming away from the serious AAA games, which we've all been kind of craving. It's kind of a breath of fresh air to look at something a little bit different, a little bit more simplistic. But I think it looks fun. I think it looks great. I love the idea of just being King Kong and fighting things and exploring. If the exploration is great and there's stuff to find and things to do, that's cool. And I appreciate that. I would love for them to bring Peter Jackson's Kong to a remake or bring it over to play on our newest consoles. I miss that game, and this game alone, though, I think looks a lot of fun, really great, and I'm stoked about it. And it looks like we don't have to wait too long till it comes out.
Shockingly, I remember initially you were saying it was like slated sometime in 2024, but then when the trailer dropped, the official legit trailer dropped, it said fall of 2023. That's in a couple of months. That's crazy.
The actual release date from the pre-orders is October 17th.
Time out. Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding? Are they going up against Spider-Man 2? Oh. No wonder why the game looks the way it looks. They realize we're not going to be able to compete with this. So here's a $50 cheaper alternate. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be for real.
$20 game.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
The game, I like the look. I like the idea. I love that it's a Kong game. And for me, the best part of the Peter Jackson Kong, although I did love the first-person shooter part, was running around with Kong in New York City, third person. At the end, at least.
Yeah.
Even though you could do it in on scroll line, but I love that. This
Finding
game,
the V-Rex.
yeah, this game does not look like a trick, and this is not me knocking it. I pray that they don't try to get you and try to make you pay more than $50 for this game. Now, a complete edition, something that's gonna come with the a bunch of skins and whatever else, I'm still not gonna pay $70 for. $60 maybe, not $70. And I know that what's $10 more. When you look at the game, it does feel like I'm not gonna go as far as saying a PS2 or an Xbox original, but it's definitely a PS3 360 game. $60 to me is perfect enough for a complete DLC set, costumes, everything, the whole shebang. But at the same time, I did like what I seen. Like Chase said, the Ultimate Destruction, the Hulk, that was perfect. I want it. I want it. The problem is, am I going to be able to afford it after paying for that PS5? God damn it. Cams.
I am very cautiously optimistic. I know the developers. Well, not the actual developers. It's the actual developers is like this Iguana 2 or whatever. I've never heard of them, but the publishers, Game Mill Entertainment. I know Game Mill Entertainment. They specialize in cheap budget license games like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl or Nickelodeon Kart and other games like that. That's, you can tell that these have the budgets of like not even $1 million. And it's fine. The graphics don't need to look hyper realistic as long as the game runs good at a stable frame rate and the gameplay is fun, which this looks like it's going to be fun. I'm happy. Like, a lot of people dogged on Maneater when it came out, and I fucking love Maneater.
It turned out to be a fun game.
Maneater's become a cult classic now. So
yeah, Maneater is like Maneater, and I'm not knocking, but it's like the equivalent to Carnosaur. It's
right.
fun. It's fun, you know. Like, it ain't Jaws, but it's fun.
And if the Kong game can capture that same essence, I'm all for it. Go for it, game. It'll give me something to waste an afternoon on if it only lasts if it's only like a 7-8 hour game. I don't care as long as I'm having fun.
And paying $30. And paying
$40
or $20. So I said what I had to say. I want to know, JR. There's going to be a theme here. You do know that you're going to wind up going on last in each segment, correct? Because
oh yeah, probably. Look, as we were as you guys were talking, I was listening, but I was looking up Peter Jackson one. Hey, I can get it on PC. I did it with Need for Speed Underground 2. I found it for PC. I totally bought it legally. A game that came out in 2005. Play on my PC. Anyways, I don't like the trailer. I rewatched it a few times just now as well, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It feels like a cheap Unity game just thrown up on a market store just to get it out there, which bothers me because you know what they could have done with the art style is kept it fucking comic booky, like it's ripped, or not ripped, but pulled from. I would have done that, but the art style just leaves a bit to be desired. I know it's an independent studio and everything, but there are ways to stand out. I get the Unity engine trashware game feel from it. Now, it's a trailer, it's hard to say. We'll see if the game actually fares well. One thing that kind of did bother me, and I hope in the final game it's added, is all the monsters move pretty quick. I would really like some weight behind the punches. You know what I mean? Some weight behind the attacks, or in the movement would be nice. Not quite as far as Godzilla PS4, but somewhere in the same vein as that. But yeah, it's just kind of, we were talking about God of War earlier. It reminds me of an old God of War game in 2023, and that's kind of a fucking problem.
What do you mean that's a problem? I think that's amazing. Like,
well, graphically speaking, that's a
man, listen, those games still hold up. They still hold up.
No. Okay, I'm tired of this graphics talk. All right, I want games. I want shorter games with worse graphics made by people who are paid more to work less, and I am not kidding. All right.
To me, this Kong game looks nothing different like Giga Bash. It looks exactly the same to me.
But they should have done something unique, like a comic book style. I mean, independent studios have been doing that. You gotta have a style with your game. If you're going the indie, non-AAA release route, because you don't have the budget for AAA, you don't have the manpower, gotta stand out. And in a case like this, especially with there being an established comic book. I mean, I own the fucking Mezco figure from the comic book. I own the comic book. You need to take that and run with it. It would have been unique and cool, and yes, have the skins as well. Do a 1962 King Kong. Comic booky looking. You could get away with it at that point, because it's like, no, it's not 62 Kong, it's a comic book character. It's something we made up. He doesn't look like a weird orange suit at all.
Don't worry, Toho. It's Kong -1.
Yeah. No,
it's retro, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I swear to God, bro.
So.
But no, and we'll see is ultimately my thing, but I'm not super impressed, and that's why it's got me looking at the old Kong game, and I looked up Carnosaur, and you could find that movie free. Just saying.
Carnosaur is great. So, all right. So, I want to real quick, just to correct myself, because I don't know. I'm throwing these numbers out there, but there's a pre-order already. So, Gam, what is the actual pre-order sale number? What's the price?
The pre-order price is $39.99.
Oh man, that's perfect. So, and that's for base game, right?
That is for the base game, yes.
I'd go $55 for everything. I absolutely would. No, I'd give $60 for everything. $60. I'd give $60 for everything. Yeah. I'd pay an extra $20.
For a pre-order bonus that has a bunch of skins and a bunch of filters over the game that makes it look like an old black and white film with film grain and stuff on it.
Yeah, I'd totally pay $60
that was confirmed as well.
I wouldn't be mad. So this is based off of the comic book, correct? That's what they're saying?
Yeah, not the legendary comic book. Is not in the Monsterverse.
So then it's not...
But it's based off an old comic book from, I think, the 90s?
Okay, it could be.
I think Image or... Yeah, I think it was Image Comics was the one. I might be mistaking that.
Yeah, it's called Kong of Skull Island.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's
okay,
actually...
I did read that. Okay. Because Kong's in the public domain, so I'm reading the comic book right now that's from Dynamite Comics, and it takes place, I think, in World War I, which is crazy. So, and it seems to be the 33 Kong. Which, wait, when did World War I start? Because then it couldn't be the 33 Kong. It could be.
I think World War I started before 33. I think that was the 20s.
In the 20s, right? The teens,
World War I started about 1919, roughly.
So, yeah, then this is World War I Kong. It's 33 Kong, because that's how they're drawing him. I mean, he's in the public domain, so I guess we can make a Kong game. We can make a Kong comic book. We can make a Kong cartoon or a movie. Who's going to get in the gorilla suit?
We could.
Who knows?
Listen, we're going to call it King Dong.
We're not.
You know where this is going.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not mixing ding dongs and Twinkies either. We're not doing the Choco Dial thing, okay? We're not.
Hey, what's wrong with King Kong raiding a Hostess factory? That's all I'm saying. Where did you think I was going with that? Come on.
That sounds like a great marketing commercial, like Godzilla and Dr. Pepper back in '85.
Yes.
Speaking of Godzilla.
Speaking of Godzilla.
I want to stay on video games real quick, because we're seeing this, right? We're seeing this happen, and I gotta be honest, and I gotta give it up. I love the comparison to Maneater with this game. I absolutely love it. Chimpanzee Kong to King Kong? Give it to me all day. Why aren't we getting a new Godzilla game? What is the problem now? This Gigabash thing, I know they got a Godzilla DLC. I haven't played Gigabash.
I have an answer, but I'll let everyone speak.
All right,
I think I have an answer too.
So should I reverse the roles and let JR go first? Because he's got this devious smile on his face.
I know the answer of what Toho said.
Okay, no, we're gonna fuck that. We're gonna keep it going the way we're going. Go ahead, Chase. What did Toho say?
Toho said, we just do not have the money for AAA video games at this time. They said in the next 5 years they want to start experimenting.
Man, okay. I've got to come back for that, but okay. Gams, you have anything?
Video games are just way too expensive for us.
My explanation was simply that the Godzilla license isn't owned by anybody right now. Bandai doesn't have it. Atari doesn't have it. Microsoft doesn't have it. Nobody has it.
JR, should I go to you or should I give my input first?
Oh, I'm just going to say I've got 3 games that we've been begging for remasters that
all right.
Pipeworks Studios worked on.
Go ahead. You go first, then I'll give my take.
Destroy All Monsters Melee, Godzilla Save the Earth, and Godzilla Unleashed. I don't buy it, Toho. Pipeworks said if you would give them the green light, they'd fucking do it. I don't buy it.
But it's in business what the games sell. I don't think it would.
Dude, beat 'em ups or not beat 'em ups, melee fighter games.
Well, Giga Bash hasn't done well.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, they still have not gone multi-plat yet. They still haven't released on Switch and Xbox.
What I'm saying is, like, oh god.
And that's what Giga Bash having the Godzilla DLC
actively works on games still to this day. They actively still do. And if you don't want to give it back to them, just take it to Blue Point Studios. They'll have them remastered in fucking 2 years because they reverse engineer it and just upscale the graphics or rebuild the graphics. It takes 2 years to do.
Toho had literally no interest in remastering old games.
It's no excuse. And then the fighter realm, what do we have? We have Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken. That's it.
Yeah, Soul Calibur is going to pop up. There's Guilty Gear X. You know, there's always a Guilty Gear.
Fighters coming back. Fucking those pipe work games sold, man. I don't want to hear it anymore.
So here's my take.
They'd have to completely rework Godzilla Unleashed from the ground up, unless they base it on the PS2 version, which is factually the inferior version because it doesn't have as big of a roster. And they'd have to remaster the Wii version to work with controllers, and that's a fucking task in and of itself.
Not necessarily.
I don't think so.
If you decide to make that a Switch exclusive, because you can use those as nunchucks. I'm just saying, unleash a Switch exclusive or a Switch 2 exclusive, whatever the fuck that's coming.
No, if they do it, it would be a collection, and they would drop it on all systems.
And it'd be nice. They could get it figured out, man. I'm just saying. Like, you throw a studio, give Bluepoint, like, or Pipeworks $500,000 and be like, fucking remaster these. It's not as much as a AAA budget game. You're gonna make your money back because people are gonna be like, holy shit. I remember that. I remember seeing that at the game store. I played it. I liked it. The wifey remembers playing it. When she was a kid, she's like, I didn't even know what the fuck Godzilla was. It was just fun to run around as monsters and beat the shit out of each other. Right?
I mean, you're not wrong.
I hated it.
Wrong, but again, Toho has to look at it as a business, and the games just did not sell well.
Okay.
But you can't sit here then and say that you're trying to make Godzilla this huge fucking brand, and you're not going to dabble in the world's biggest entertainment with games that already fucking exist.
We're not saying you're wrong. We're just saying that Toho doesn't see it that way.
Yeah, Toho just doesn't see the value, and somebody, fucking Chris Mallory of Toho International, somebody listen to this video and just get it into the ears. That the fandom wants
I just want the both of y'all, Gams and G73 Chase, just want the both of y'all to remember this argument, because we will touch upon this later on. That being said, let me give you my take. I don't see why not. This is where I would go with this. If Toho is so afraid of making a brand new game, look, I'm one of the very, 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 very few who likes that Godzilla PS3/4 Bandai game. I do. I don't like the tank controls, but I have fun. The models are great. All you need to do is take those models and use them in a, destroy all monsters melee type of setting. Or use those models and build another game. But that's not where I'm going with this. Where I'm going with this is this. You know what games are actually somewhat popular for a nostalgic crowd, regardless if they're good or not? Collection games. Collection games are all the fucking rage. You can buy a Nintendo collection and people like me is going to scoop it up. Oh shit, the Castlevania collection? Are you kidding me? It's my Contra, give it to me. Fucking R-Type, yes. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection. Are you out of your fucking mind? Give it to me.
I love that collection.
I love that collection. So that's what I'm
There's a
saying.
rumor that they're gonna drop the God of War collection.
I have that one already. That one already came out on the PS3.
That one came out on PS3 already.
I have that one
have
already.
that.
Yeah, they did.
We're talking about PS4, PS5.
Don't need that. I already have it.
Like they did the remaster for the God of War.
That's not where I'm going, though.
I
That's not where I'm going. Give me a minute. What I'm saying is, I just this week saw, and I don't know how true it is, but it looked actually factual. They're dropping a Jurassic Park video game collection from the
What is it
fucking
going to have on it?
the Nintendo, the
It's
Genesis,
all
the Super
old
Nintendo, and the
school
Game Boys.
arcade games.
Yeah, it's all of the
Yeah.
old, like the old system
Like
games.
the light gun games?
No, it'll
Not-
be no. So
I mean-
what I saw was the Nintendo old 8-bit, the Sega Genesis game, the Super Nintendo game, and the Game Boy games. Now I don't know how true it is, but it looked legit. Like I don't see anybody going out of their way to create a fucking commercial that looks like a fucking commercial
So-
for a game collection. And
Is
again,
this where I
it's,
think is this where I think it's going?
yeah, it's a niche
With
thing.
Godzilla?
That's right. So what you do, Toho, what you do is you get your entire bad Godzilla game collection and you make a compilation. You make a compilation.
Monster of Monsters,
Monster
Super
of-
Godzilla.
Yup.
Finally bring Godzilla Kaiju Daikasen to America.
And you don't have
Generations.
to spend a ton of money. You're probably gonna make a profit spending very little because the games are already there. You just use emulators. That's what they did in the Ninja Turtle game for Arcade 1-Up. Those aren't the official fucking arcade chips. Those are
No, those are
emulators.
emulators.
They're emulators. So I mean, like, fucking think. It's not hard. People bootleg your movie all the time until you start coming out in the theaters and DVDs out here. Just bootleg your fucking games, Toho. Then, that being said, then you take the trilogy and you put that out next. The Godzilla Collection 2. And fuck it. Throw the Bandai game in there. Throw that game that came out that had Godzilla, Ultraman, Gamera, all in it. Throw that in there. Just fuck it. Just do that. And then get the hype ball rolling.
That's basically free money to make a new game.
That's my point. And so you already got, -1 coming out in December. We've got, Godzilla. We got the Legendary Universe. We got the Monsterverse already. Like, Godzilla is in our faces. And while we are the fucking fans, right? We already eat this shit up every day. It's in the faces of people who are non-fans. Could you imagine getting on your game system and there is a fucking little box that says the Godzilla Collection? What's that? And you're old fuddy-duddy like me, might have played. What's this? And it's $20? Oh shit, old school games. Yeah, let's play it. Those games suck. We be suckers to buy them. And guess what? Call me sucker number 1. I'm changing my name. Fuck G1. I'm S1. Sucker 1. Sucker. I'm buying it. I'm fucking buying it. I hate those games. I'm buying it. And that's the thing. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
I buy them.
That's where you go. That's where you go. Look at what they're doing with Kong. And yeah, granted, Kong is in the fucking domain. Whoa, God, Jesus Christ.
Public domain.
Public domain.
The
Thank
general
you.
character of
Yeah.
King Kong
So
is in the public domain.
So Toho, you got nothing to lose. I don't want to hear, well, we don't have the money for it. You don't need the money for it, bro. Just say, hey, random studio making all of these. Take the Jurassic Park studio, for instance. I don't even think it's a big, legit studio. They're just making a compilation and they're going to put them out. And for whatever reason, as much as I hated those games, I might buy it. Just because I like playing retro games every now and then. Regardless on a difficulty level. It's a masochistic thing. Like, fuck it, I'm mad at myself. I bought it, I don't care, I'm going to play it again. That's what I do.
Yes.
So, now that we're still on the Godzilla topic and thinking about Kong,
You want the podcast? It's yours.
He's so excited.
I know.
Let's talk about
yes, I'm very excited to talk about this. This is dope hype shit. All right.
Let's,
Unite the Seven! Unite the Seven!
Yes.
Aquaman 2!
he's making another one.
Yes, he's coming back. He said, I'm not going to make my Star Wars type movie. I'm going to make a new Justice League. Unite the
Let's
7.
go.
Let's go.
Unite the 9. Because Godzilla and Kong is joining the fight.
Oh, I don't want Zack Snyder going near that.
Okay, nobody's going near that, but let's talk about it. Okay, also, ladies and gentlemen, because Gam Gam is chomping at the bit, so we're going to get into it. Because it's Comic-Con weekend, things are flying out of the box faster than we can contain them. And one particular thing that jumped out at us that I absolutely adore, and I know Gam Gam does too, is in the comic book realm, we are getting the Justice League. Okay? The Justice League. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, whoever else is there. Aquaman. Aquaman. I love him. The Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. What? And it's 7 or 8. I think I said 7.
7.
7 issues starting in October. Holy motherfucking Christ. It makes sense, right? Why wouldn't they do this? Legendary and Warner Brothers are already in bed. Warner Brothers already owns the DC characters. Let's fucking go. IDW did it with Godzilla and the Power Rangers. This is on a different level altogether. Gams, I know you've been wanting to, so go!
All right. So, first of all, I have no idea how this is going to go without at least either nerfing the Justice League or buffing Godzilla and Kong, or both. All right? Because if this is the mainline DC universe, which I hope it's not, I hope it's like its own kind of DC universe ripe for just MonsterVerse crossover shenanigans. But if it was the mainline DC universe, Superman alone would just send Kong and Godzilla straight to the fucking sun. All right? And that's just be it. Over in 2 panels. But it's not. It's going to be 7 whole issues, and I have no idea what's going to go on in this comic book. Like, we could have Kong being mind controlled by Gorilla Grodd. We could have fucking Aquaman trying to communicate with Godzilla because he's a sea creature. We could, the possibilities, like this is apparently opening up with Superman, well not actually Superman, Clark Kent and Lois going on a date, and then all of a sudden Godzilla just bursts forth from Metropolis Bay, just pissed the fuck off for some reason.
Y'all don't know what's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I don't know what's coming. But here's my speculation, and I'm pretty sure this is it. You ready for this? You ready for this? You ready for this?
All right.
It's not just Godzilla. It's not just Kong. It's not just the Justice League. It's Pacific Rim. It's a fucking rift. It's gonna open up. It's happening. Fuck family. Fast 5, 10, whatever. Fuck The Rock coming into this shit. It ain't Rampage. Alright? It ain't San Andreas. Okay?
From what I've seen, it's probably the entirety of the MonsterVerse. Like
Yes.
Rodan, Mothra, and like the Behemoth, Scylla, and all them coming too.
Because of the rift in the Pacific Rim. I can't wait to be right when it gets to issue 6.
And we could even have like Batman putting on that mech suit that he had like a few years ago that was like fucking like mecha sized, and he could fight Godzilla and Kong in it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go next. I saw a picture a long time ago when I was doing the Facebook page, right? And it was Adam West, Batman and Robin, right? Adam West and Burt Ward, Batman and Robin, on top of that year's Godzilla. So it was.
I think it might have been Destroy All Monsters.
I think it was Destroy All Monsters Godzilla. It looked just like that, right? And I fell in love with that image. And I'll never forget looking at that image and thinking, what if, right? Sorry, Marvel, but what if Batman and Godzilla, right? Like, that would be insane. And the only thing I can think of was the Joker getting his hands on Mechagodzilla and putting a smile on its face. And I was like, I want this so bad. So obviously that's not where this is going, but who knows? But holy crap, the fact that I'm going to see Batman and Godzilla in a comic book together just blows my mind. I'm dead. Am I gonna be able to make it to Godzilla -1? I don't know. This comic book comes out in October. The Kong game comes out in October. Spider-Man's gonna break me in October. It's too much shit going on right now. Stupid Comic-Con, too much shit. But I love this idea. Absolutely love it. I'm a DC fanboy. I love the Justice League. But you putting Godzilla and Kong in with them, this is fantastic. I don't give a fuck how the story turns out. You read Power Rangers versus Godzilla. It works on every level. It's just supposed to be fun, cheesy shit. And yeah, and I will say real quick, it's definitely not the mainstream DC universe. Absolutely not. DC has been doing these things lately where they have their streamlined universe, but then they're doing these offshoot branches just like they used to do back in the day, which I think they never should have gotten away from. They should have never have made just one cohesive universe. As much as I love continuity, there's always room for different stories. For instance, some of the best things that ever came out of, the multiverse is like the Vampire Batman and all that stuff. So this I don't think is going to be the Justice League that's, what's going on in mainstream comic books now. This is going to be one of those offshoot, just random stories that happens somewhere in the multiverse, and I'm all for it. Brother Chase. See what I did there? I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry. Brother Chase, your thoughts?
To be honest, I don't really have many thoughts on it because I don't read much comics anymore. But I love the idea. I've been seeing tons and tons of like Godzilla crossovers, and I think Godzilla, just in the comic world alone, is still a great thing. I just think it's funny that it's DC, and there's, I'm not saying that James Gunn is behind it at all, because he's not. But it did make me think that'd be really funny if he's not necessarily a Godzilla fan, but he did tell me specifically on Twitter that he is a Jet Jaguar fan.
What?
Yeah, there was a conversation I was in with him when he was on Twitter, and Michael Dougherty at the time, I think, and we were talking, and I asked him just a question, what does he think about Godzilla, or does he think there should be a certain we can't remember, it was years ago, it was like some question about like the status of Godzilla and what movie should be made, and he goes, I'm a big he's like, I'm not much of a big fan of like Godzilla in general, but I am a big fan of Jet Jaguar. So
it's that damn theme song, punch, punch, punch.
That's funny. But thinking of James Gunn and movies and stuff, this could be made into an animated movie like Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Or even better, now that I'm a fucking collector, the toy line.
Yeah.
My God. But they haven't done it yet. They haven't done it yet with Godzilla and the Power Rangers. They've got the Power Rangers Ninja Turtle toys, but an animated, oh my God, an animated movie would just why not Netflix? That makes sense. Wait a minute. I don't know if it was Prime, if it was Amazon, or Netflix, but one of those two streaming companies are getting a DC property and I believe it's Batman, to make an animated series. It was supposed to go on Max, but money reasons, whatever the case may be, they said, you know what? They're pulling a Sony. Let's lease it. We own it. Let's lease it. Like Spider-Man, like JR was talking about before. Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man live action and apparently video games. So we can make money on leasing that shit. Yeah, you can rent Batman for a minute. So if that's the case, and let's say it goes to Netflix.
Three beloved DC animated series are heading to Netflix. Amazon and Warner Brothers are negotiating for an animation deal with Prime Video.
So there you go. Netflix already has... Yeah, they have everything. They have Pacific Rim already. Cough, cough. They've got the Kong Skull Island, which, again, Episode 7 is fantastic. They've got a Godzilla trilogy and Singular Point. So, We're already there. And if I'm not mistaken, they even might have. It might be Prime, but I think it's Netflix. They might have one or two of the Nolan Batman movies. So I'm just saying, it's there. It's there. It's not like it can't happen. If they did an animated series, animated movie, and put it on Netflix, mind's blown. But you know what? We've spoken enough. I gotta hear JR's take on this. Because so far, this man was upset earlier in the chat, and I have not yet seen his final form. So, JR, are we gonna get it here, or is the best yet to come?
I mean, if we're talking figures, the best is yet to come. I'm gonna blow.
We're gonna be talking figures. That's gonna be next.
That's
I'm
coming
gonna
up.
blow the fuck up. Listen, when you guys showed it, you caught me in a bad mood. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw it, what was that yesterday? I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, but I had to take a step back. I'm like, but it worked with the Power Rangers. Why wouldn't it work with the Justice League? I don't know. It could just be that part of me that's just sick and fucking tired of superheroes, but I do love Batman, so I'm like, yeah, I could. I'll get it. I won't do what I did with the Power Rangers and get every individual issue with all the different variant covers.
Ooh.
I did that shit. I have all the variants. And I spent, I think, in total about $100.
Oh, yeah.
For the Power Rangers Godzilla comics?
I have all the individual different variants.
Oh my god.
I have, dude, the fucking stack, it's like this fucking big of Power Ranger comics. Yeah, I wasn't fucking around. And I'm not even a fan of the Power Rangers. It's the it's the idea. It's like,
yeah, Power Rangers versus Godzilla. There it is.
It's like, I have to do this. And the variants are fucking awesome. With the Justice League, I might just wait till the trade. Because the comic book store is by the wifey. And then once every few weeks, I was like, hey, can you go pick up my comics for me? Hey, I send her the money on Cash App. I'm like, go pick up my comics before you come over. Go pick up my comics before you come over. She's getting fucking mad. She's like, how many of these did you fucking order? I'm like, don't worry about it. Go pick up my comics for me.
Dinner's gonna be ready, babe.
Yeah, dude, every time I'd have dinner ready for her, and I'd get to read the new issue of Godzilla versus the Power Rangers. I was like, yeah, this shit's fucking crazy. Like, you want to read it? She's like, no, wait for the fucking trade. And then I ended up getting her the trade for Christmas. And then she fucking loved it. She was like, this is the greatest shit ever. Because she's a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. Like, huge. So I guess, I'm going to wait for the trade because I'm not as excited. And I think one of the reasons, and it's going to be a weird one, why I'm not so excited is because Kong's thrown into the mix, too. And I'm like, it would have been cool to just have the Justice League fight Godzilla. Like Marvel did. Except Marvel did, 30 issues, 50 issues of that run?
What, the original Godzilla stuff?
It's not the MonsterVerse anymore. It's the Godzilla versus Kong verse. And it has to be Godzilla versus Kong brand now.
Yeah, but I'm just like, let's just have them fight Godzilla. Why are we gonna have Godzilla and Kong fighting again? I don't know. It just would have been interesting. Maybe Kong and Godzilla team up to fight the Justice League, but then it takes away from the Godzilla being the most powerful fucking thing in existence. Yeah, you did bring up a good point. How's that gonna work? Like Godzilla and Thor, strength-wise, matched. Superman and Godzilla, are we going to establish that Godzilla's the strongest Superman? Because I'm like, you know what? That means Godzilla could beat Goku.
Wait.
That means Godzilla could beat Goku, yeah.
Hang on.
And I'm just saying.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for that shit. Let's make Godzilla the most powerful shit ever.
May I throw my comic book
planets.
geek? May I throw my comic book geek senses in here? Right? Can I real quick?
Please.
In JLA Avengers, okay, when Superman and Thor fought, that was a spectacle. And yes, at the end, Superman got the win. He did. But it took a fucking drag-out brawl. And as soon as Superman knocked Thor on his ass, The rest of the Avengers jumped him. They jumped Superman. They jumped him. They said he knocked Thor out. Thor's a god. They jumped him because Superman was in a weakened state. Now, that being said, this ain't the same Superman from that. We don't know what Superman we're getting here. For all intents and purposes, he could be Clark Kent. The next thing you know, he could be Electric Superman from like the fucking 90s when he came back to life and helps Kong get some fucking powers, which I would think that would be on par with the Power Ranger shit. Just insane and nutty shit. That being said, what you did with the Power Rangers, I did the opposite. I got the trade. I'm going to get every single issue and variant of this motherfucking comic book. And I'm going to buy the fucking trade and the collection. This is good. I don't care. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
I'm wearing a Justice League shirt because of this, okay? Like,
so I've got a question about Superman, though, because Superman gets power from sunlight. The closer he is to the sun, he absorbs more power.
Yeah.
So does he absorb radiation?
No, see, what I'm thinking of is that they make hollow Earth radiation similar to kryptonite, where the closer he gets to Godzilla, the weaker he gets.
That would be dope.
yes! Yo!
I was thinking, I was like, yo, Godzilla just absorbs that radiation from fucking Superman, but I like that a lot more.
That's gotta be it right there. That's gotta be it. Godzilla's radiation is similar to kryptonite. That just means Batman's gotta save the day, and if not Batman, Aquaman reads Godzilla's mind and said, whoa, we're going about this all wrong. He's a friend.
But Godzilla's not a fish. That's Shin Godzilla.
No. Dude, did you see the Aquaman movie? Did you see?
Seafaring animals, including mammals and reptiles.
Yeah, did you watch the Aquaman movie like I asked you to about like 7 months ago?
It's got Amber Turd in it.
Jesus Christ, at the end of the movie, I don't care now, I'm spoiling it, Aquaman rides the Leviathan. The fucking Leviathan. This gigantic kaiju. And Aquaman got him. He's riding him. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is the best movie ever. It was insane. It was insane. I could totally see Aquaman doing that to Godzilla. Not riding Godzilla now, but saying, whoa. That's an intelligent creature the way that ape is an intelligent creature. We're going about this all the wrong way. Who knows? Maybe these aliens pop up. Confirmed. Legendary confused. No, I'm not. No, it's the Pacific. It's the rift from Pacific Rim. It's them aliens. They're gonna fight the fucking kaiju. It's gonna be Titans versus kaiju, and the Justice League is gonna be caught in the middle. And Batman's gonna devise the fucking plan to destroy everything.
Batman is going to be the one that builds Bat Mechagodzilla.
Yes, my God, are you kidding me? We might even see a return of composite Super Bat. The composite Super Bat that destroyed the giant kryptonite asteroid from Krypton from the very first Superman Batman run by Jeff Loeb.
Dude,
Yep.
Batman makes his T-Rex statue into a mech.
Oh!
What if like the Joker devises his evil plan around Godzilla? Does something to fuck with Godzilla, and it's all the Joker's fault, and then he gets stepped on because I just want to see the Joker get stepped on. I'm trying to create something where the Joker gets stepped on by Godzilla because it'd be funny.
And it'd be funny too if he does that, but he's like almost getting away, but like Godzilla's pinky toe lands on him, and all you see is the bang. Fucking gun, the bang flag from the gun underneath his foot.
That would be good.
That's perfect.
There's potential. I just, like I said, I worry about, I won't get into all the modern day comics too much, but it's just a little worried.
It's modern day comics is crazy. I mean, again, we live in a weird world now. And nothing is sacred anymore. Nothing is. And I get that. I don't care because I still enjoy anything that I used to enjoy. There's exceptions. But you can't tell me Godzilla versus the Justice League versus Kong, or Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, or Kong versus the Justice League. Whatever way you want to put it. That's just a mind-boggling concept. And they're making it happen.
They are. They really are. I do have a question for you guys, though. What do you guys feel about one of the internal artists? I forget his name, but he is known, at least when it comes to drawing Godzilla and other kaiju, because he's coming in from the MonsterVerse comic book runs, where he takes SH Monster Arts figures and traces over them to make drawings.
What, like you talking about like Rob Liefeld used to take previous pitches and then just do different things around them? Like, if I'm not mistaken, a G.I. Joe roadblock image from a Marvel comic and turn it into Captain America, or
like if you look at that image of the Justice League fighting Godzilla and Kong, and it's the two Green Lanterns making helicopters surround Kong, and you see Wonder Woman and Hawkgirl and Superman go after Godzilla. If you look at that picture of Godzilla, that's a traced SH Monster Arts figure.
Okay, do you all want to go first? Anybody can go first. So I've got my opinions on this.
I think that's half-assed, but I mean, whatever.
I hate Monster Arts.
Okay, that's your final statement?
I hate Monster Arts.
Games, your opinion? You're not a fan?
I'm 50-50 on it. On one hand, Godzilla's very hard to draw. At least semi-accurately, at least the MonsterVerse Godzilla. I mean, it can be done. Matt Frank has proven as such. But on the other hand, it's tracing, and I don't like tracing.
Okay.
Especially in a published work that costs money.
I'm not too worried about it. But at the same time, I mean, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't know why use a monster. You could have just got the Hyatt toys, Godzilla. Like, why use
that would have been better to trace over.
Right? It looks better too.
Yeah. Hang on, because I'm going to motherfrigger. I have. Hang on. Here we go.
Okay, I've got. My buddy just realized Comic-Con's happening, and he's like, "Did you see all this stuff going on Big Bad?" I'm like, "Yeah, like."
Yeah, it's
yesterday.
It's the same guy who drew Godzilla Aftershock, I think. He traces SH Monster.
Yeah.
He traces SH Monster Arts figures.
So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not. Because here's the deal. Like you said, Godzilla is hard to draw. The figures are posable. So you're able to do that. Like Matt Frank is different. That's a different beast because Matt Frank was in love with giant monsters. That was his thing. He was drawing them. So he's
been drawing Godzilla and stuff since he was a kid.
Yeah, so he refined his art. He refined his love. He creates some of the greatest kaiju art pieces. And it's true. You know what I'm saying? Say what you will, but I'll never knock that about Matt Frank. Same thing with like Jeffrey Zarnow. You know, like there are some things that I'm like, but for the most part, I'm like, that is fucking awesome. Bob Eggleton, same thing, but just in painting. I can't get mad at somebody taking a articulated, posable figure and then drawing that. Because they have to draw it. Even if they're tracing, even if they take a picture of it and then trace over it, they still got to add shading. They got to do you know what I'm saying? Like, they got to add the lines to it. So, I'm not mad, especially if you're in a rush. It's easy to draw Superman. I can draw fucking Batman. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to draw them than it is to draw the monsters. There's so many different versions of the monsters. Which version do you want? And if they say we want the legendary one, then I'm going to take a legendary model. Matt Frank says, no, I got this. And as you can see, he does an amalgamation of different Godzillas. Because he has the talent. Because he's been drawing it for so long. So massive props to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at an artist who does not draw Godzilla on the regular, who has been drawing, humans or Superman, whatever the case, to take inspiration from an articulated figure. I'm not. I mean, fucking Bandai did it with the Godzilla game. And I love it.
They did. They just took SH Monster Arts and turned them into 3D models.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. And again, if the art is good, the art is good. It's about the story. I'm not looking for a deep, impactful story. Godzilla vs. Power Rangers was not a deep, impactful story. And a lot of the art got real muddy. So I will pull out some pages and be like, you see that guy again? That looks like shit. But the concept was fun. So I enjoy the ride. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and badmouth it. I actually enjoy that book, and I'm not a Power Ranger fan. But I can't get mad at somebody tracing, if you will, you know, a monster art design. They gotta articulate it. They gotta put it in the positions they want it, and then go from there.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
So I mean, like, well, since we're on the topic of toys and shit, thanks Gam Gams, we might as well just get into it, right? We might as well just go into it. Look, I don't know if this was a Comic-Con thing or what, but we've talked about the Super 7 Ultimate 89 Godzilla and its Biollante Rose form. We've talked about it. We've got a lot of negative things to say about it. I mean, personally, I don't, because I don't own it, and I see it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about the price point. But, this week, Super 7 announced two more flavors. We've got Space Godzilla and Magara, whatever you want to call it. And it looks just like the 89 and Biollante figure looked when they were first announced. Very good, very articulated, very detailed. We were hyped. But because of the 89 Godzilla now dropping, are we fearful for this new thing? And I'm going to start with you, Gam Gams.
Okay, so there's another thing that you neglected to say about this new set. Because it's actually, if you pre-order this set, both figures, you have to order both figures for $80 a pop. And off of Super 7's website, and you get an exclusive beam heads for both Mogera and Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla doing his Corona beam, and Mogera doing the eye lasers. All right, and that is essentially DLC for a fucking toy. A pre-order bonus, if you will, all right? And that is egregious. Not to mention that, once again, we're dealing not with actual production photos. We're dealing with 3D CGI renders that have cuts where the joints are supposed to go, theoretically. And I am not hyped at all. Space Godzilla looked like fucking 89 Godzilla with crystals on him, and that's not movie accurate. His face is too scrunched up and flat. He looks like if Space Godzilla fucked a duck, and this was the actual result, all right? I am not being the positive one here anymore, all right? It's not a fun time.
Well, that's upsetting to hear because you know, again, I see your gripes, I see your complaints, but at the same time, I'm like, well, Brother
but
Chase.
It's a render. It's a render, and not the actual figure, and it's just not honest advertising. Along with, once again, essentially pre-order DLC for a toy.
True. Brother Chase, what are your thoughts on this thing?
I mean, you mean just about Space Godzilla in general?
Well, yeah, the new Ultimate Space Godzilla that was announced with Magara.
You know, I don't know. It's because they look really good. Those toys look really nice. But I think JR posted some photos of the toys, and they look very, like, cheap plasticky. And to me as a whole, like, that just, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't turn me off necessarily from wanting to buy them, but I do lose a little bit of I guess I'd say I lose a little bit of an interest with them. I mean, I think it's really cool that we have Super 7, making these figures, and, I think that's really cool. They're coming with accessories and all that. But that's not necessarily, I don't know. I mean, how much are these toys?
$80.
They're $80 a pop. It's like $179.99 to get the full set, which will also get you those exclusive beam firing heads.
All right, so I think that for that price, that's like a lot of money. And for the way those toys have been coming out, I don't think for like that type of plastic, what they're using is worth it. At that point, I feel like you're just paying for the accessories. I don't know. To me, I think like it needs a little bit more of attention. The Space Godzilla in general, to me, though, didn't really bother me. What bothered me about the Space Godzilla was the stomach. Like, the curve and the belly.
It has a gap. It has a gap in his stomach.
It has, like, a hook. And, like, that looked really fucking ugly. And I just thought that was kind of poor. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like where toys are at in this situation, I think I would rather have it left to Haya, but even then, Haya's kind of shown that they're not as great as we thought. But with Super 7, with this in general, I mean, it's cool for a collector standpoint, but I would drop that price. I would totally drop that price. If it was cheaper, I would be fine. But because it's $80. I mean,
if it was the standard $55 that the other Ultimates figures are, I wouldn't be mad.
Right. That's a good point.
That's a good point.
What'd you say about Haya?
Well, you showed us pictures of Haya toys the other day, and they look like dirt. The eyes were all cross-eyed and messed out, and you even mentioned something about it.
No, that was Super 7.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember you saying something. You said you had something bad to say about Haya and stuff.
No, Haya's killing it.
Haya's killing it.
Well, I did see the exquisite 2019 Godzilla from Haya that they were showing off up close, and this person had one, and it looked, the eyes were all dog shit too, like SHMA. So I don't know, but like I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of, regardless. I mean, I'm not talking about Haya right now, but to me, like Super 7 is, I don't know. It's like I think, like I said, I think it's cool that they're doing these unique things. But I'm not. To me, I don't know. I wouldn't be paying $80.
I agree with that. I said that before we went and did the podcast last week, when we did the Go Figure podcast, and Gam Gam was showing off the 89 figure, and I was just like, like personally, right? Personally, I'm like, they look like kids' toys. But I completely had forgotten the price point. When Gam Gam pointed out $80, I'm like, yeah, that's a collector price. That shouldn't look like that. Now, I didn't even peep the Space Godzilla stomach thing, none of that stuff. And we don't have Shinrob here right now, but we do have someone else who has it in hand, and that's JR. So I want to ask JR, do you have both Biollante and the 89 figure, or just Biollante?
I canceled that 89. Okay. I saw Rob's review. I seen pictures flooding. And I was like, nah. I kept the rose form. I paid $96 after taxes and shipping from Big Bad Toy Store to get that giant piece of shit to my house.
I wanted to know, because it's got to be the same type of material. But when you hold that rose form in your hand, what does it feel like? What's the material?
A mixture of super hard plastic and really fucking soft plastic. The hard plastic, because I collect X Plus, used to collect the NECA Godzillas, and then Monster Arts. Super 7's using a weird plastic. A plastic I've never... Well, I've felt one other time, and it's my Trick or Treat Studios Tarman. If you have any Trick or Treat Studios figures, you'll know, and you have that Tarman, you'll know what I mean. It's heavy, but I feel like it's weighted at the bottom heavy. Not necessarily because of the plastic. See, the Tarman that I have is super light. It feels like it's the same plastic. It's like a soft, hard plastic, you know what I mean? Like, if you punch that figure, your fist will go through it. Kind of a feeling, you know what I mean? And the sculpt is destroyed by the super glossy paint, but then I've seen someone repaint it with the matte finish, got rid of the gloss, and I was like, paint-wise looks better, but the sculpt is still shit. So I think it's the material plastic mixed with the gloss that's fucking ruining it. And the gloss, this Biollante is absolutely, I sent pictures, they weren't great pictures to you guys, and yeah, you could see, like, it shines. It fucking shines on a shelf of matte finished Godzillas, minus, I think, my NECA Burning Godzilla, the burning patches are a little glossed and translucent, so that's the only shiny figure on that shelf. It drives me insane. Not only that, they announced, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I just saw it. Yep, he put his hands to his eyes and he scratched hard.
Like, give me that Doom shotgun.
Bankai.
Listen.
Always time.
Your first fucking Ultimates wave goes down as like, yo, this is shit. You say absolutely fucking nothing. You sit there fucking silent. And then you say, hey, you're in Space Godzilla Mogira. Oh! If you pay us $200 up front on our website, not knowing what the figures look like because they're not real figures, they're fucking renders, you get 2 heads that belong in the package. You're selling cosmetic DLC, and you're asking $200 fucking dollars up front. You don't understand. If you pre-order from Super 7, you have to spend the $200 then and there.
Yeah, no, there is no $5 down.
No.
There's no payment plans. There's no nothing. You gotta pay right there.
You $200 up front. You don't know what the fucking figure looks like. You are supporting shitty business practices. Figures have accessory packs. I understand them. And this is, I put them on blast on Twitter, and people were freaking the fuck out on it. And one of the big things is, well, other companies do it. Other companies have accessory packs that you can purchase, but they don't have crucial elements to the fucking figure locked away behind an exclusive paywall. You $200 up front. You haven't proven yourself, Super 7. Your reaction line is fine. I say the price is too much. Personally, I pay $15, not $20. That's just me, though.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Your Ultimates are shit. I saw their Burning Godzilla at Comic-Con, and it is just as fucking shiny as your 89.
No, don't say that. Wait. Not the Meltdown Godzilla, right? Not Meltdown Godzilla, right?
No, just the Burning Godzilla,
okay.
not Meltdown. Meltdown's still being built.
Because I got that on pre-order since last year.
So you're going to sit here, knowing that you're fucking up and pissing off the fan base. And you're going to piss us off even fucking more, and you ain't even fucking earned that right. The fuck out of here. They don't deserve the license. They don't deserve, at least for their Ultimates.
Oh, I got to push
for
back.
For the reaction,
okay.
Do what you're doing. You're killing it with that. You didn't earn the respect. You didn't earn your fucking price tag. You didn't earn any of this. And you're doing shit Bandai doesn't even fucking do. And Bandai is like bottom of the fucking barrel right now when it comes to like Monster Arts collectors. That's bottom tier shit. and they're the ones charging so fucking much for them. How fucking dare you? I put you on blast publicly on Twitter, got flack for it, and I'm putting you on blast again. How fucking dare you? Fuck you. That fucking headbeam pack should be available to everybody.
Yeah, like, that should have been in the fucking box.
That should never be locked behind a $200 upfront fucking paywall for figures that you don't even fucking know what look like, let alone they don't even fucking exist.
They don't even exist, no.
Fuck
So
you.
where's the 200 from in the 80? Where does that differ?
So,
Yeah.
each figure costs 80, about 170. Then you gotta factor tax and shipping, comes out to be $200. Rob spent $200 up front. And these figures aren't even available until next year. And I mean this time next year.
Yeah.
So,
that's
but
shady.
the thing is, and here's my question. Is it $200 up front with the shipping and the taxes included?
That's in total.
Okay,
Yeah.
the same thing. You literally, it's almost the same thing. It's like what, a $5 difference if you order from Big Bad, and you're not
Yeah,
getting
but
the
you
beams.
don't- but
So
you
for
don't
$5, you're gonna get extra shit. I'll buy it over Super 7.
Extra shit. But it's locked behind that. You have to get it from our website.
But it's $5. So that's my thing. If you're paying in grand total with shipping and taxes, $200, and you're getting not one but 2 extra accessories for $5, there's no argument. I'm sorry, I'm gonna push back here. There's zero argument. Why not? I'm like, fuck it. Because here's the deal.
Because
If you're gonna
those
order
beans
it,
should have been in the box to begin with.
Agreed,
Godzilla should have
agreed,
had a bean
but
head.
it's $5. It's not a make or break. It's $5. Now, if you would have said it's $50, I'd have been like, oh, that's fucking crazy. But it's $5 because here's the deal, and I'm gonna tell you a true story. I ordered from Super 7, I ordered from Big Bad, and I ordered from Amazon. You know what the difference was? $3.50. Literally, $3.50. So it's not make or break. It's not make or break. That's your prerogative. If you want the extra accessories or you want to beef about the figure, pay $5 extra. Now, I'm not saying that $200 is the fucking price point these things should be going for. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But
that's
if you're
the argument.
comparing one spot to another and you're getting extra accessories for $5 more, then why not? Why not pay the $5?
Okay, but like, what if you want just Space Godzilla and not Mogera? You can't get the beam head for just Space Godzilla.
Now that's
You
a
have
good
to
point.
get both.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a definite argument that I would totally side with you on. Problem is,
Not
I want
only
both. I want both. You kidding me? I would love a Mogera. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Oh, and you're giving me an extra beam head for $2.50 more? Fine.
And not only that, it's only 30 days on their website. So you have 30 days to pay them $200 then and there for figures that aren't out till next year. And if you can't make that fucking window, see, I got bills. I had to go to Big Bad because I'm like, I can't afford $200 up front.
No.
And that's bullshit.
In that regard, I 100% agree. 1,000. I'm with you, and I'm in that boat. I'm with you on there. But and here's the problem I have, and you motherfuckers got me collecting again. But here's the problem I have with collecting. Reasons like this. Now, personally, 10, 15 years ago, this would be an issue for me. Right now, it's no issue for me. And I'm not speaking for everybody here or everybody listening. I'm speaking for myself. It's not an issue for me. If I wanted it right now, I'm going to go press click and get the $200 and thank you, sir. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, person. I'm going to get it. It's not a problem for me. But I agree with you. At that price point, it is a problem. If I can't have just one, I need to get both. It is a problem. But I mean, who doesn't want Mogera? Who doesn't want Mogera? Honestly, who doesn't want that? I haven't even pre-ordered. I haven't even pre-ordered the Ultimate Mechagodzilla 2 yet, and that's my favorite version of Mechagodzilla, and I want it. And I don't care if it's got a shiny finish to it. So,
hey, that works for that figure.
That works for Mechagodzilla.
yes, because of the fucking diamond coated. You know what I'm saying? Movie accuracy, right? So, but let me ask you. I mean, price point aside, and even with the fucking special features, what if? Because we don't know yet, and we have to go on what we do know, which is the '89, which is Godzilla versus Biollante, right? It's a shit product for that price. Absolutely agree with that, right? What if they do see that and they're not saying nothing, right? And I get it, especially in this day and age, they should say something, all right, we're correcting something. If this is a render and they're showing us a render of what they're going to build, what if they just give us matte finishes on Space Godzilla and Moguera? You know?
That would be great.
That would be fine if they can learn from their mistakes. All power to them.
And this figure comes out what, like 2024
Next
when?
year.
Did they give a
About
date?
this time.
About this time.
So we got a whole fucking year. There's no way in my mind. And if they don't learn from their mistakes, ugh. And I'm not defending them because, you know, my closet door is being lined with reaction figures and I've been buying them on non-stop, whether it's Godzilla, Voltron, classic Universal monsters, or fucking Return of the Living Dead, which, by the way, one of the best purchases I've bought this year. Serious. I like Super 7. Are the Ultimate line, Godzilla lines bad right now for what we got? It's not worth $80 at all. I don't believe. But there are different Ultimate things they have. And again, it comes down to...
I have a problem with the reaction line, too.
Well, we get to... All right, I'm going to get to it in a minute. It comes down to, like, what's your preference? Are we just going to buy Godzilla figures? Because I look at... I'm a child. I was born in the 70s, raised in the 80s. I am a product of my time. I'm looking at their fucking Ultimate Thundercat figures, and I'm like, oh my God! Why couldn't we get that back in the 80s? And I have Thundercat toys from the 80s. And that's my thing. Like, I love their lines. Their only Ultimate Godzilla stuff right now, it's not good. It's not worth the price. I personally enjoy. I like the looks. I do. It's not worth $80. I just think, especially if we have a whole year to go, for this particular set, we still got this Meltdown Godzilla that's supposed to come out in December of this year, which I ordered last year in May. I ordered that shit, and I'm not getting rid of that pre-order. I want it. Maybe they say, yo, Matt, finish this bitch. Not do the shiny thing. Not make it look like the Trendmasters toys. Because that's what that reminded me of. Trendmasters. Like, legit, it reminded me of Trendmasters. But, like, again, going back to my point. With everything included, if it was $200 excluding taxes and shipping, I'm all on board with you. This is too much. But if that's the grand total price, and with Big Bad you're only paying $5 less, maybe $10, I don't think that's not a bad deal. That legit is what video game DLC should be costing. But I don't like the business model. I will say that. I don't like the business model. I don't like the idea of, yo, you can only get that if you order it here. Or, you know what I'm saying? If you pre-order this or do... Like, Soul Calibur did that in the video game sphere back in the days. Nintendo had Link. Sony had Kratos. Xbox had Star Wars. What? It made no damn sense. You should at least do another exclusive, you stupid son of a bitch. But I digress. That was my only pushback. I didn't even know I was going to push back on you on that. I didn't. Because I honestly thought the price point was pre-tax and shipping.
And listen, if these figures cost $100 and they were doing this, I wouldn't be as pissed. Both figures together, $100, $120. I wouldn't be as mad. But
Agreed.
it's their current fucking price point is why I'm pissed, because of the quality of what we're getting. That's where it's like, fuck you. That's not how that works. You haven't earned that. You You patented it. Before you even knew what you had. You patented it. And you sell it. You sell it. You sell it. You packaged it.
You
You
stood
sell
on the
it.
shoulders of geniuses.
That is Super 7 in a nutshell.
Listen,
You know,
They
it's
don't
funny,
even
I
know what
was
they
thinking
have.
of Jurassic Park earlier when you were making your speech, and I was about to quote Jeff Goldblum. I was about to say, you stood on the shoulders of geniuses.
You stood on the shoulders of Bandai before you even knew what you had.
so that's a great segue into the next and final segment of this podcast. Still on toys. Earned. I love that. Did Super 7 earn the right to put out crap and charge this amount of money? NECA. I gotta talk about this is the Comic-Con and here's the wraparound, right? This is the full circle. This has come full circle. Now, NECA had Comic-Con, let me rephrase that. Comic-Con had its preview day on Wednesday, July 19th, right? July 20th, I think it's also a preview day, and then Comic-Con proper starts the 21st and it runs to the 23rd, right? Friday through Sunday. The majority of the stuff we've seen right now in Comic-Con has been figures, and a lot of it has been NECA. Now, we know NECA has given up the rights to Godzilla, right? But what I've seen, and I got to talk about this again, born in the 70s, product of the 80s, right? NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line, what they're doing is insane, right? And I believe they earned the right from these figures to do what they are doing. That being said, I was in my shop about when I was in the shop. When did I buy these figures? The 10th of July. The 10th. Or it could have been the 12th. It might have been the 12th of July. And I saw a NECA figure that was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure that made me want to barf. And it made me think of you guys. It was a Michelangelo figure and a Triceratops. And it was a 2-pack, and Michelangelo's eyes were cross-eyed. Mm-hmm. It was terrible. But there was 2 of them. I looked at the next one, and it was fine. And I was like, what the fuck, quality control? Why is that? And I know you guys, more SH Monster Arts, but did NECA give you those problems too when it came to Godzilla figures?
Yes, they did. Especially the Godzilla 2019.
Yeah, I have the fucked up eye ones still.
Yes, I do too.
Okay.
I mean, my 1962 Godzilla figure was missing a pupil.
Oh, that's crazy.
You had to put a little white dot or yellow.
Yeah, remember I painted it, put a black dot in the eye.
Oh no.
Okay, so NECA's given up the rights to Godzilla now, right?
Thank God.
They release it. Hiya Toys is picked up to do like these moderately detailed Godzilla
Thank
figures
God.
now, right? What's the difference between price points of the two?
So Hiya Toys is $50 and NECA was like $20 to $25.
Okay, and Hiya Toys has only done the MonsterVerse figures, correct? As of now.
Yeah,
Right now.
But they just announced not too long ago that they're doing classic Godzilla now too.
Okay. From what Hiya has out right now, compared to what NECA has done, because when did NECA stop? Did they stop before
They
GEK
stopped
or
right
after?
around the time Godzilla vs. Kong came out, 2020.
So were they able?
was more King of the Monsters.
So-
No, because Kiryu Goji and Bio Goji came out in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
It
right.
came
Dragon Friends, right.
So NECA
came
doesn't
out
have a
in the
Mecha
middle of
Godzilla
COVID.
figure, right? NECA doesn't have a Godzilla vs.
NECA
Kong.
doesn't have anything other than 2019 Mothra and Rodan, and the rest is just Godzilla.
Gotcha. So Hiya is now taking over. Okay, perfect. All right, so why did NECA stop that?
Because Randy hates us and thinks that Godzilla doesn't make him any money.
Because Turtles was more important.
Yeah, Turtles makes him more money.
Which brings me to something I told Chase and Gam Gams I was going to come back to. Now, y'all was over there talking about the video games and shit and how Toho said it's just not economically feasible to do that. Why y'all so mad at NECA? Why y'all so mad at NECA? Because it's the same fucking argument.
Okay. I'm mad at NECA, strictly because of Randy, of how he treats customers. You know, he talks shit to them on Twitter.
He's an
asshole. He acts condescending, and he knows it. That's the thing. He knows it, and he just doesn't care. I mean, his interview with Godzilla and like the future and people asking him questions, he would shrivel at the idea of talking about the topic of Godzilla. But yet, he was there for Comic-Con and was trying to act like he's excited for showing off NECA's Comic-Con exclusive Godzilla for when they're talking about King of the Monsters. And the fact that they lied when they talked about that we're going to be doing a full Godzilla King of the Monsters line with Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Godzilla, and then they backed out on it and then tried to make an excuse that the figure was just too big and not going to work. No. And then Randy just continues to talk shit and then gaslight his fans. And then the quality of the toys, for me, were terrible. I mean, I don't mind paying extra for a toy that looks good, but for a $24 toy that looked like a piece of garbage that had no pupil or had issues along the lines of just looking like garbage, I think that is fucking barbaric and criminal. And Randy's behind it all. I'm sorry, but NECA had terrible business practices, and Randy is the scum of the company. And I hope he's listening to this because he's an asshole.
He's not at Comic-Con, I'll tell you that. I learned that today. He's not at Comic-Con this year.
I will agree, God, but he was there for when Godzilla King of the Monsters was announced.
Mm-hmm. I will agree that Randy's a fucking dick. I will agree that NECA has a spotty reputation with their QC. I will agree that NECA, their business practices when what's commercially viable is fucking stupid when you have the same goddamn fucking alien queen figures sitting collecting dust in collectors fucking shops everywhere all over America because nobody's buying those fucking things, and now you're making a big ass Krang.
And it's
no.
See, and that's where I think age comes into play. In all honesty, this is where I push back on YouTube. See, I already pushed back on JR, and the arguments were very valid. You know what I'm saying? I totally see where JR's coming from. But here's where I push back on YouTube. I am a product of that 80 fucking 7 Ninja Turtles cartoon, whatever the fucking year it came out. I am a product of that time. And let me tell you something. The shit we got from Playmates back then, and what we're getting now, cartoon, and not only cartoon, if you looked at the video, comic book, Mirage comic book, accurate figures, and again, I know we were all brought together for our love for Godzilla and found our passions from that, right? Make no mistake about it, and don't fucking front like you don't know, except for maybe you, Chase. You know for a fact Ninja Turtles are going to sell more than Godzilla. You know for a fact that the resources are going to be put more. It is.
Ninja Turtles is the highest grossing license of all time.
Of all time. It's retarded. It's not Star Wars. It's not anything Disney. It's the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay? Outside of James Bond and Godzilla, they might be the next fucking runner-up for the most fucking remake movies and cartoons of all time. It's ridiculous. But now, and here's, again, product of the times. People like me, right? At my age group, we never had those fucking cartoon accurate figures. And we are getting them now from NECA. We are getting them now. And people are buying them. They are buying them. So why not make a fucking, 2-foot, 2.5, 3-foot Krang that's scaled with the episode where Krang turns into a giant and Michelangelo says, we're gonna need Gorgonzola, which was the exact fucking name of the monster, referencing Godzilla. Why not? Why not do that? You gotta see the figures they got lined up. It's insane. it sells more than Godzilla, and that's the problem. And that's where I go back to the video game things. When Toho is like, it's not economically feasible. I don't follow this dude Randy on anything. I didn't even, like, I don't know who that is. I know that that's the guy, I guess, who runs NECA and all that shit. And for y'all, as toy collectors and diehards, I understand, especially Twitter heads, I understand y'all follow him and see he's an ass. I'm not going to say he's not. I'm going to agree with y'all. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. What's going to make me more money? You could say Alien Queen all you want, but you know what? Aliens is probably going to be a better seller, unfortunately, than Godzilla. That's just a fact. And that's why Ninja Turtles are killing it. That's why the Ninja Turtles are killing it.
I see alien figures on shelves collecting dust, not just the Queen. All Aliens and Predators figures ain't moving. They haven't moved in the past 2 years, and I collect those.
I want an
No
Alien
one's
Queen.
buying them.
I want an Alien Queen, and I'll be honest with you, if my toy store out here had one, I would have picked it
Get
up
it.
already.
No,
but they don't
I
have it.
that fucking figure.
They don't have
You
it.
can get that Alien Queen, it's worth it. See, my biggest problem is the fact that NECA has been known for majority horror.
Okay.
What did we get shown off? Nosferatu.
That's not
Yeah.
bad. Nosferatu's cool. What the fuck? You don't like Nosferatu?
Like,
No,
that's
that's
about
fucking-
it. The rest was Turtles.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
as
my
far as
problem.
Comic-Con this year.
Their
Okay. Did not know that.
entire whole fucking business model now is pump out as much turtle shit as possible. They had an entire Universal Monster line planned 2 years ago. I ended up picking up Frankenstein Black and White, Wolfman Black and White, The Mummy. I was gonna get the Creature, which I'm still gonna get the Creature from Black Lagoon. I was gonna get Bela Lugosi. I was gonna get them all. But they have been drip feeding these. We're getting no, it's been one a year.
Yeah, like one a year. And how many Turtles figures a year do they pump out?
You know
And
why?
They just finally announced Halloween ends Michael Myers, and it's like that movie's been out for a minute.
Wait. The only way I buy that Michael Myers if it's him getting if he's getting crushed in the in the compact. I want Michael Myers bits. I don't want Michael Myers.
Yeah. But no, and that's my biggest problem with NECA right now. It's just Turtles. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that.
How old is Randy?
Like
Can I
trying to
ask a
get-
question? How old is he? About if y'all know, I don't know.
300.
I think he's in his like late 30s.
All right, so he's like my brother's age, who also grew
I
up
thought
with
he
the
was
Ninja.
like 80.
80.
No, and like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with just having or making the Turtles, but when your whole company, for instance, is just, it was one thing, and you have drastically shifted it to one specific thing. I don't want to collect Turtles.
What?
It's like when Hot Topic became General Geek stuff from being Goth store.
Exactly. Like, Hot Topic ain't the fucking same.
But it's okay. But again, like Chase said earlier in this podcast, it's a business model. It's a business. What's making me money? What's making me money? And I can't lie. If this dude is like in his late 30s, early 40s, then he's in the generation that grew up with those turtles. And it shows in the work. It shows in the work. And that's what drives me crazy, because I'm like, yeah, you know, like if you were there, you knew Godzilla. You grew up there with it. Was on TV. It was there. But it wasn't like Ninja Turtles was thrown in your face. There wasn't no Godzilla Happy Meals. There wasn't no Godzilla Burger King shit. It was very niche. But Turtles had everything. Same thing with Transformers. I'm personally shocked that NECA ain't that they didn't even try to get the Transformers line. But Hasbro ain't giving that shit up. Hasbro's like, nope. Thank you, Takara. We got this. So for right now, like, while I understand grievances, y'all, man, listen, it's a business. And these motherfuckers is making money. Put putting out Ninja Turtle shit. And they're not just skimping on, you know, they're taking the Playmate shit, they're making it better. Literally, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, it's not even, because that's what Super 7's doing. Super 7 is taking the Playmates molds and improving on them. What NEC is doing is just making cartoon accurate figures.
And they need to continue, because not only that, they're also doing the movie accuracy, they're doing the comic books, the old Mirage stuff, and it blows me away. But then I look at it.
Now they're also working on their Last Ronin line. Which
I saw that too, yep.
They're more than 2 figures, and I have to shell out for that Last Ronin Wrath.
Did you see that with the fucking swords and shit in his back? Come on, man. Oh, that's beautiful. Do I want it? Kinda. But do I want it more than I want that giant Krang? Because
that is a good question.
I will find, I swear on everything, I will find my ultimate Godzilla from 1998. I will find it. It's somewhere.
I've had it right here. Randy Falk is from NECA, is 49 years old.
Oh, shit. So he's older than me.
He was born in 1974.
Yeah, he's older than me. So his shit should have been Godzilla. I'm just saying. His shit should have been Godzilla. Star Wars, Godzilla, all that stuff. But Hasbro, Mattel, Kenner, they're not giving none of that stuff up. They're not. But, again, I mean, like, it goes to what makes the money. It's a business at the end of the day. I totally get your grievances. I have several NECA Godzillas that I absolutely love. I never took them out of the box. I have NECA Kongs that I've never taken out of the box. I love it.
Was it 1 or 2 that I sent to you? I can't remember.
Of what?
I think it was the 1962 Godzilla. You bought it for me. I sent it to you.
Yes. No. Yeah. I bought that from you. Yep.
I mean, I have a complete NECA collection of Godzilla, and I'm not dissatisfied with it. But at the same time, am I going to go out of my way to get other lines from NECA? Probably not. Besides maybe the original Mirage Turtles, because I just bought the Splinter figure.
Wait till you see what's coming up. Oh my God. So speaking of like the fucking the Universal Monsters, they're dropping a second line and they announced Leonardo and Raphael. Leonardo is the fucking creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm buying it. I'm a fucking huge creature from the Black Lagoon fan. Buying it. And Raphael is the Wolfman. The only fucking NECA Turtle X Universal Monster figure that sold out is Donatello as the Invisible Man, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's mind-boggling. But everything else, I'm like, I want. And I'm going to be broke. And NECA's going to get my money. It's going to get my money. My fear, though, is, like y'all, I have to order it from them, and then it ships, and then I have a goofy eye or something. And like I said, I saw it in the store. There was 2 of the same exact things. One of the turtles' eyes was crooked. The other one was fine. And that's what scares me. But at the same time, you can't mess up a fucking 3-foot Krang. I'm just saying, you can't mess it up. You can't mess up a 3-foot Krang. You just can't.
So, who wants to talk about the movie trailers that dropped at Comic-Con?
There was no movie trailers.
I know, that's the joke.
Trick.
And done for dinner.
No, and on that note, we have been rocking and rolling for 2 hours straight. 2 hours and 3 minutes. I think it's time to say goodbye. So, on that note, Brother Chase, thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. It was a pleasure being with you, gentlemen, and it was fun talking with you all.
Absolutely. Gam Z1, always a pleasure.
Oh, I'm gonna be right there with you collecting every issue of Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, baby. Let's go!
Variants, here we come! And, JR, I honestly thought you were going to be a lot rawer than you were. You were very subdued. So I'm disappointed.
I know. You know what happened? I got home from work. That's what happens.
And that's what would happen. And that'll do it for this episode of this special edition of the Geek Out, ladies and gentlemen. I am G1, and we will see you next time. Peace.